Now that you have a working understanding of the theory of color, we will practice putting that knowledge to practical use. Later, you'll use these skills to assess your peers and your own art. But for now, let's practice with some more well known art pieces. I encourage you to take note of the type of questions, observations, inferences, and interpretations that we will make about these artworks. This information will help you critique your own work and the work of others in the future. Each one of these pieces on these slides utilize a different style and color harmony or color scheme. What color harmonies can you point out just by looking? What do you think each of these artists were trying to convey? How did color play a role in communicating their message? Let's start with the piece on the far left. This piece is a well known piece by Pablo Picasso. It's The Old Guitarist. What are your initial observations about this piece? This piece was created during Picasso's Blue period. Picasso is using imagery such as a blind, gaunt man with exaggerated limb length curled up awkwardly around his guitar. What do these communicate? Often, this is believed to show Picasso's own desperation. Does the blue hues and monochromatic base help with this interpretation? How would it change if these colors were warm? Notice how the guitar stands out in this piece. The orange hue of the brown guitar help it stand out against the color complement blue that's all around it. How can you use color complements to create a focal point in your own piece? Let's move on to another recognizable piece and artist. This is The Water Lily Pond by Claude Monet. Monet spent much of his life in a tough financial situation. However, toward the end of his life, he amassed a small fortune with which he bought a property and designed a garden around a pond and planted some water lilies. They became his only muse. In this picture, we see an analogous color harmony or scheme. He used mostly greens, blues, and violets with the chromatic neutral cream. His use of muted colors and soft strokes creates a serene, dreamlike feel to this piece. Through the use of cool, analogous colors, Monet created a unified, peaceful mood in his painting. How would introducing contrasting or even fully saturated colors impact the mood and the composition of this piece on a whole? Now you will take a turn to observe and analyze with Bradbury Thompson's graphic art piece, Rock Roll. In this piece, we see translucent, overlapped primary colors used. Generally, primary colors are used to create a youthful and playful mood. Why do they accomplish this? What would happen to the piece's message if the color scheme was changed to, say, cool colors? Why? Pause the video and see what other observations, inferences, and interpretations you can make about this piece. On this next slide, we see a piece by Mark Rothko. It's called Untitled, as most of his pieces were. Mark Rothko was an abstract expressionist. He believed that his art demonstrated the conflict of the modern era and times past. What do you think? Pause the video and practice asking yourself questions about this piece. In this last slide, this is a portrait by Henri Matisse of a fellow artist and friend, Andre Derain. Pause the video and try your hand at the critique. I've given you some questions to springboard off on the slide, and I can't wait to see your thoughts.